Hello and welcome to a brand new video. This is CloneCreatesClassics, and today we're going to be discussing this modified Complete Saga gunship meant for the Clone Wars. By saying it's meant for the Clone Wars, I specifically mean the animated series that goes by the name of the Clone Wars show, as seen with the double doors for the gunship and a few other modifications that the movie version does not have. Also, here's a closer look of what it looks like with a minifigure next to the gunship. Since this is a blend between the gunship that shows up in the Clone Wars show and the gunship that shows up in the Complete Saga video game, this mixes elements from both models. So we can't fit any pilots in here because this front area is just too small for pilots. In game, they put like a little decal or a sticker of pilots on these, and I will leave that up to whoever purchases the instructions to do that on their own. Other TCS additions include the way that these front guns are designed and also how the wings are designed. Most of the following modifications are all just so that it aligns with how the gunship shows up in the animated series. So instead of having this open area right here underneath the secondary cockpit, we have filled it in and we have this one singular connection point so that the gunships can have all of the additional attachments that they have in the show. For example, here's a mock-up of some floodlights that don't really look like floodlights because this piece isn't transparent, but basically you can plug this in and it actually looks out pretty well. I'll show what it looks like here in a sec. And then we have, as mentioned before, we have the double doors, so that way it can be pressurized and actually work in space and stuff. That way the floodlights make sense, like in that one episode. And a few other modifications, like how the back door works and this additional gun. Here is a brief overlook of the entire model with every attachment I have built so far. And now let's take a closer look at the individual details. I should mention opening the doors now that the wings are on is slightly difficult, but once you get your fingers around the doors, they're pretty easy to open after that. I should also mention the reason why everything's kind of in random colors and stuff, specifically the wings and the floodlights, is because this is my test model. Once you get the instructions, whenever I get around to releasing them, everything will be in the right colors and you'll be able to build this model yourself. To better demonstrate how everything works together, here is the gunship disassembled into several different parts. First, in the front, we have the basic main body. This part needs to be redesigned, but basically that's where the windows are going to go, right there. As you can see, there is a decent amount of space for things here for either troopers or for cargo or potentially even a speeder bike and stuff. For an example, we got this AT-RT that's based off of the No One Likes Cherry design. I can't remember all the mods I made to it, but I modded it just a little bit. The issue, and this is kind of a bad example to be using actually, is because this cannot fit in the gunship once it's fully built because of just how tall it is. Unless you want to have it so where, if I can do it quickly without destroying the entire thing, unless you want to have it laying down like this, otherwise it won't fit. Moving on, we have the upper portion. Basically this just goes right here and sits. It does kind of float a little bit, so you do have to use this back door to kind of hold up the back portion, otherwise it will sag a little bit. And the back door can sit next to these and sit pretty well. Here's what it looks like with all those pieces assembled and with some troopers put inside. So right now with this current design, you can fit up to 5 clone troopers, although they're having to be a little snug with each other to fit. So comfortably, you can probably do 4. So it's not that much, but also this is a smaller gunship, so it is to be expected. As you can see right here, the back door is holding this up. This can stay up on its own, but once you put on the wings and everything else, this entire upper section will try to sag down a little bit since it's only connected up here. So the back door is required if you want to make sure to hold up the front or hold up this top area as much as possible, but you can also have it open and it should be generally fine. You also have the back gun now, whereas in the video game it doesn't have the back gun, so I added that to make sure that it has all the armament that it's supposed to have. With this new redesign, I have changed how these doors work. So starting with the smaller one, this used to be roughly 5 studs long with an additional 6 stud on the bottom to help cover in this hole in this older wedge piece. That has now been changed. Now it's 4 wide and I guess 6 long, depending on how you look at it. And it uses these clip pieces instead of hinges, mostly so that it can fill in the gap a little bit better. Using, instead of the original 5 pieces I was using, it now uses these 2 pieces, and that helps plug into this a lot easier. It fills in the same space as in the 5 pieces, and there's just a lot less going on with it, which is really nice. The back door is now a little longer, so it can take up that extra piece that the front no longer does. This does still have the hole in it, and there's really no way of me filling that in unless I use a different wedge piece. But because the goal of this is to be like the Complete Saga gunship, it kind of needs to use this older piece. Otherwise, it just kind of looks like this. There'll be detailed instructions for how to do that, so there's just some quick looks for that. And here's how it looks with the doors attached. So you can still kind of get to most of the troopers, except the one in the back. And I've already done the other side, so here's what it looks like when they're closed. Oh, I think I just popped the other door off by accident, but it looks something like that. Right now, the doors are going to be a little bit of trouble. This should be fixed in the digital model when you get the instructions, but for whatever reason, right now, they're giving me a couple hiccups where they not closing all the way like they used to, and I can't tell. I don't think it's the troopers. They don't seem to be in the way, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Let me pop this door back on. I can show you kind of how they close. So the easiest one is definitely the front one, although it's going to be kind of hard for me to show off with only one hand. Oh, and especially if I don't point the camera in the right place, but it's basically like that. So you got 2 pivot points, and then you just swing that part around. And that's basically the front. Yeah, I don't know why it's not wanting to go in all the way. I wonder if the troopers are really causing an issue. If they are, that's a little disappointing. I guess I never tried with the clones inside, but yeah. Let's see if I can get the other door. I'm not going to be able to get the other door, so let me pause real quick and close that door. And here's what it looks like with all the doors closed. It sort of matches the sloping right here, so that's all that matters to me. And it looks pretty good once the wings are on, so let's do that next. And here's what it looks like with all the doors attached. In between clips, I fixed the doors. Apparently, I had put the wrong front doors on the wrong sides, so this one was on the other side by accident. And now they close in all the way, match the sloping that goes on right here. And I believe it still will work with the clones. I did take them out in case it was them, but this should still allow all 5 to fit, because that's how it was working previously. Now with the wings on this test model are probably the most incomplete right now. They're missing all of the bubble turrets on the wings. They're missing the additional missiles I was going to have on the bottom. And overall, I just have a lot of parts in the wrong colors, or are just missing entirely. But it gets the overall feel there, and I think it looks really cool. The big thing about this model, that even though it's on the smaller side, you still get the impression it is a gunship, and that's all that matters to me. So that's basically it. Thank you for watching. This has been CloneCreatesClassics, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye.